Whew. You know, you really think you got a decent selection of cribbing blocks around until you try and pick a whole machine up. Not half or one side or something, but pick the whole thing off the ground. Then you start finding out you don't have enough. And I'm trying to do it in a damn soft spot because I need air from the shop, so I have to stay half close. But the backside's uglier, the two, but nice wide spot so it won't be tippy side to side. And up front, it looks cleaner, but I definitely will be welding that tow hook to that I-beam. Make it a little safer. So we're going to pull both tracks off this thing and really get a look at how much damage there is, if it needs the whole undercarriage or we just scab it together with some new parts. All right, you loosen your tracks up, you take your covers off, and I gotta remember, I don't know if it's this bigger guy I loosen off and the grease pressure. I think it is the bigger guy I loosen. And then I'll take a block of wood and put it between the track and the blade and curl the blade back and push it in right here. Yeah, the big guy. Since these tracks are hanging, it's pushing it out, but sometimes they just sit there and yeah, you gotta jam them back. Yeah, like that. That's a lot of slack. You start to question if there's even a chance being able to save that rail. On bigger machines, it seems to be easier just to get a forklift or something under a rail, but on the smaller guys, it's not that it's like crazy heavy, but it's coming at your shin and ankle, and it is heavy enough to break that. Yeah, so I would have fell back and probably broke my leg there. So I don't know with small dozers, but I'm assuming that much play in there. There's no way that seal can still be in there. The oil must be gone and it's just rattling around in there. In my mind, that's what caused our issue here. The pin seized to the bushing and it pulled hard enough it started turning the bushing and wiped that right out. So I think happened. Makes sense to me. Down we go with that side. So hopefully I can start it, put it in neutral, and I can pull them around nice and slow. If not, you have to walk them off, and your clutches feel so much different when they're not connected. So you usually throw them off and bang and clang, and with all the forklift has. So I guess there's a lot of drag in that final drive. Looks a little different now. Get inspecting things. Well, back on this dozer here. I want to do a good inspection of what everything is. So taking the rock guards off, and they're all messed up, of course. The big bolts have all come out nicely. The little bolts, not so much, but to be expected. Much better. I'm really thinking I should, it's broke anyways, cut her here, just run a little middle section, and then you'll have your front and back little guides. The rock guards, they almost cause more issues than they solve, I think. All right, what do we got going on here? This guy's all chewed up on the edge. That guy's a keeper. I need to get a new one so I can see what they look like when they're new. Like, measure them. But I'm thinking they're probably just time for a whole undercarriage. Oh, since we're talking all the right hand side, you know, we got the one we know about that's broke, but I don't think I should be turning bushings by hand. There's a couple of them that there's just no way the seals are holding oil on them. Yeah, I'll find them. So new rails are pretty well $4,000 a piece, but to repair one link costs about $1,000. So 2 links there, you're halfway to a new rail. So I think new rails are definite. I haven't built the special forklift pocket, but that will work. Just had flashbacks doing roller cap bolts on D11s. Every day you'd get a bad dozer. So this flange is way thinner than the next single one. Actually, all of them. What about the back one? Back's thin. So I'm guessing the front and the back just take the most side load. But, so you probably change those two. By not changing these 3 ones, you're only saving $600. I was looking at that outside being way thinner. I thought, well, it should show some other wear. Oops, this guy broke off, wore paper thin. So I thought, well, the idler, probably can't see that, but it's not amazing. None of them are. And then you get to, so that just got a bit more pricey. Here at Union Tractor getting this undercarriage for this 4. There is a lot of steel around here. A little bigger than the D4s.
Chunky.
Got our rails. Got everything unloaded. And here's where you can really tell the difference. Because he's asked me, well, how worn is it? I haven't done enough with little dozers. And even when I worked on big dozers, I was just a grunt. I didn't measure undercarriages. The office made the call. It's getting undercarriage, and Finning would just do it anyways. But that's when you can really see how wide this flange is to there. Yeah. She worn. And I don't think I showed you in another video. The idlers are no good on it. Yeah. That would still run a really long time if the machine was just going, but you're not going to go this far into it and save $600 there and think you really accomplished something. So new idlers, new rollers, new segments, new rails, carrier rollers even. It's going to be a pretty fresh little D4 after. Came out here to work on this dozer again. It's not a rush job, so I think I'm going to come out in the morning, work, and as soon as it gets hot, quit, go work in the shop, and do that for a couple days, and we'll start picking away at the thing. Threw all the bottom rollers on this morning. Pretty smooth. I had more room in these back ones, so I just used the tranny jack. And over there, they will sit up there, but it's a little sketchier. They're definitely not falling off of that, but they're not crazy heavy, but trying to pick them up overhand or anything, they're just too much for that. Hey, I've been dragging my ass with this dozer. We need to do some undercarriage work, but we did have a bit of a holdup. It wasn't my fault. I decided to change all the track guides because, as you can see, they were a little worn. But they kept giving us the wrong ones, and they were sending us like the right part numbers, but there was ones that were stamped wrong, part number wise, and blah, blah. We got them all now. So I think I'm just going to focus on finishing up this whole track side today. And I also have to, in here, since we can get some of the bolts that broke off, instead of drilling them out, I'm just going to cut that nut off and tack weld a new nut on. And those are for the rock guards, which we're not even putting back on, but whatever. Fix it just in case. So I don't know if the ratchet strap's needed. On D11s, we always did that, so whatever. 130 foot-pounds, and then we're going to go 120 degrees more on them all. So basically, you take the yellow, we're going to turn it till it meets the red. I should not do that with a torque wrench. So yeah, that dot from there to there on everyone. I think I'm going to go get a 3/4 inch setup. My shoulder's still bugging me, so I had to break out the big one. But this one, let's show you what it actually ends up being. And yeah, we're just shy of 400 foot-pounds to do that. And there you go. Out of breath, out of shape. Well, there, front and back, guide installed. I gotta I bought 2 long bolts. Chop them off, but we got all those other bolts in, nuts in, just in case we put the guards on. Well, next step. It's big on like just cleaning all your mating surfaces, yeah, and then dropping them in the mud. Proper torque values only really work on steel to steel, like big layers of paint and all that, it screws them all up. Just enough room. The back one was actually a little trickier because I just have too much junk laying around. Got it on. And 200 foot-pounds for those. Whew, it's starting to get hot and humid out here. I think I'm gonna get this rail on and quit. It's getting too hot. I quit. But at least we have some progress. Oh, falling. Hopefully get some more motivation and get after the other side. Pretty well nothing's done on it. We're back on it. Got the eye locked out, never had to pull the pads, so I did very lucky. But this side, lightly on. I think we're actually going to torque them all properly too. So 130 foot-pounds plus 120 degrees, which is stupid, but whatever. And we got none on this side, but the sun's over here first. Clean everything up. She looks a little bigger with some pads under her. We're getting close. I'm going to make sure the master links get that proper torque sequence at least. We'll see about the rest. My 3/4 inch impact is spitting the bit slowly. Might have to upgrade before we finish this project. I'm sick if you can't tell. So we went into town because on Princess Auto's website they said they had 2 of the good impacts and 1 cheap one. Went in there, they couldn't find them anywhere, and one kid there was a bunch of the security things cut off here the other day. So someone stole all the impacts, so I couldn't get my impact. There's none in the city. So well, there's really expensive ones, but for what I need, no, I'm not spending $1,000 on an impact. But I said, wow, we can give you a free shipping on one. So I looked it up. It was going to be 3 days to get here. So I just went on Amazon, and for $150 less, I get the same impact, but wait 4 days. So we're waiting on an impact. Then we'll rattle all the pads down. And as soon as the pads are all rattled down, she can come off the blocking and she can head home. I'll probably rattle it around the yard a bit and then retorque the roller cap bolts. I just hammered them in the impact, but the idlers I torqued. And then we can set up our tension. It's hard to judge if that's tight enough or not when they're hanging. But the D4 will be back cleaning krells here. Hopefully in a week. Actually, hopefully by the end of the week. I think I put that one off long enough. But these things take time. Like, I think we got, not just me alone, but 20, 30, there's like 40 hours, man, time into this thing. Like, it adds up. Actually, even more than that if you count trucking and all the time spent collecting parts. Because there was some wrong delivered parts and had to return them. And it just all takes more time than it should. Oh, and could I went and borrowed an impact, or someone said, well, just do it by hand torque them all. I've been sick this whole time, so no. Into discussion, no. Well, with the whole thing with my impact blowing up on the dozer, I ordered a new one because someone stole all the ones from the store in town. And it got lost in the mail. So I went to Buddy's house and borrowed one. But let's get back on the damn dozer. I just gotta get a fitting in it. Trying to get some more volume. I'm feeding off the shop air, but I got the 1/2-inch line tied into this with its compressor running. It's more volume. You know what would make this job a lot better?
like a tool I really wish I had, but it's way too expensive to actually keep on the farm, is a rad gun. For you that don't know, a rad gun is still air powered, but it has an arm that'll rest off it, and then it will actually do like precision torques. It's like combining a torque wrench and an impact and a high torque. It's more like the high torque. You know what high torques are? Scary things. They're terrible to run. I hate them. Like torquing up things to 12,000 foot-pounds, and it's all hydraulic. Tink! And then you let off and do it again, and there's like a screw-in baseball bat that'll be pressed against the wall or something. Like use them in drag lines. Everything was steel here. But the one would be great for this. But I don't know what they cost. Probably $5,000 or something. But yeah. So like a normal impact, kind of, but slow speed. And you'll have a little arm that goes on those splines to rest against something, so it takes the pressure. But until then, I'll just keep hammering away, I guess. All day. I think there's like 10, 12 pads left. But that can be a tomorrow thing. Getting sick of it. Well, not like work day all day, but like for a Saturday all day. Sure can wait till Sunday. I'm so happy to have all my cribbing back. Oh, wakey wakey. So the back track guides are rubbing pretty hard. Like, you put the neutral and it stops right now. Front seem fine, but you just let them self-clear. This side that's worse. Put a little heat into it. But it seems to only be for about an inch, and then they clear. Mostly on this track. Tighten the side up a little bit too. Well, whoa, loaded up all the rock guards. I think they should be in a dumpster, but he has them. And one of the rails he wanted for a yard drag. And I think with those back track guides, he has a lathe and a mill. Perfect. Haul it to him like this. We can pull them off there, and we can shim some off, mill some off, and get it as picky as he wants to be. We can get it just that way. Instead of me taking them off, just drive over there anyways. Whatever.